Good evening, Australia. Welcome to the platform. I'm Michael Kazilny. A spectacular show coming up. Warwick Kappa, Rosie Faraci on the couch. Dipper will be joining us, one of the great footy stars from Hawthorn Football Club. Adam Gaynor from Matchbox 20. Togsy will be talking to him via Skype. And Zebulon will be performing an amazing musical act. But let's have a look at Dipper and some of the great moments from the 80s.
He has one of the most recognisable moustaches in sport. Sitting proudly alongside Nuke and Merv is the Dipper. He also has one of the longest names in Australian sport. This is how you remember it. Care of his son Dylan 20 years ago.
I'm Dipierdomenico, Dipierdomenico, oh oh.
Rough and ready AFL legend, a Brownlow medal winner and part of Hawthorn's domination of the 1980s and early 1990s. No man is bigger than the game, but Robert Dipierdomenico is certainly larger than life.
I've been fortunate. I've travelled the world through football. I've been involved in so many things. I've met so many wonderful people through football. And, after all, it is just a game, but the game, it brings so many people together, and that's the essence of the game.
Dipper, thanks for coming on the show. What amazing days. It doesn't seem that long ago, does it?
Well, the time goes pretty quickly, MK, but happy to be on the show and great to be able to talk about the great Hawks.
And you look so young, not much different to the 80s.
Yeah,
so
I've sort of decided to act my age, but time goes pretty quick. But at that time in the 80s, it was just a great time. Genuinely, the 80s was good music, good footy. You could go out, have a drink, a bit of a laugh. No one really cared.
You've always been a superstar of the game, and you've continued that on all these years later, 2 decades later.
Well, I've been lucky enough to be involved with the game, and I've been in game development now since I retired in 1991.
Amazing.
So I've been about 40 years in the game when you think about it, but no, very proud, very lucky.
What were the years, Dipper, for some of our younger viewers? When did you start? How did you get into it, and when did
Okay, well, I started playing footy around about when I was 14 years of age, and at school I was a bit of a hyperactive young kid. Back in those days, they used to call you a pain in the backside. But because I could run and jump all day, I took on sport in general, and footy became part of my life. And I went to Hawthorn at 16 and a half years of age and finished at 33 and continue on, till today, I suppose.
Amazing. Yeah. I think you won 5 grand finals?
Won 5 grand finals, yes. Yeah, we lost 3, but that's what we don't talk about. And we're lucky enough to play 7 grand finals in a row.
That's fantastic.
So my first grand final was in 1978. So this year we celebrate 88 and also 78 and 2008. So they're great times to remember. But in 1978, I was only 18 and a half years of age. I was on the MCG. I was driving my father's pink EK Holden with P plates on the back of it. It was just an enormous time.
Your parents would have been so proud. So after school, did you start a trade and then get into the footy, or?
No, because professionalism came into football around about 88, 89, 90, and I started around about 85, 86 to sort of say, well, I'll try and make a living out of this.
And you did a fantastic job. Well, you've become a national brand that's continued on over 4 decades. And the game was a lot tougher back then. 1989 was a very tough grand final, was it?
Well, the 89 grand final, people talk about it all the time. Look, it was tough. I mean, it was great playing footy. The 80s was one-on-one. It was really hard football. You knew you were playing against, if I was playing against Merv Nagel or Dougie Hawkins or Timmy Watson or Rhys Jones, all these great names, and you knew you build yourself up to it. Yeah.
Let's have a look at a clip of the past.
And he's smacking me head. Adler's behind me, telling me what he's going to do. I'm coming to get you, big fella. And I could feel him, I could hear him. I did hear a rib break. And adrenaline takes you to places that people don't know they can get to. My body was changing. My body was inflating. But my voice is really high. Hey, kick it to me. You all right, Gemma? Yeah, I'm fine. It's okay. Got to get it in the first round. just wanted to kill him. I got him an absolute ripper. Just square up. It was like a square up of what had happened around the ground. Well, you know what? You got to cop it as well.
Valuable time is just ticking away. As the Hawks are concerned, there's the siren. Woodford won it by 6 points. Ladies and gentlemen, you've just seen a classic.
Dipierdomenico has left the ground. He's not feeling too well.
And I find myself in the back of an ambulance. I was in St Vincent's Private fairly quickly. I'm looking at fluorescent lights on this cold tray and thinking, what the hell, I can't speak. It was like, I'm just bloated. I felt at peace. I was in a real quiet place, and then the doors burst open and I could just see someone lean over against me and bang into my chest. It was a punch of lung and the air was escaping. It was cut off my voice box, hence the squeaky voice, and I was just exploding, because air was escaping. If he didn't do that, I would have been maybe not here, I'm not quite sure, but it wasn't until about 2 or 3 days later that everything was starting to come together again, and we won back to back. It was the greatest feel of all time.
Dipper, some people would say that's real football.
Well, it's sort of funny because you do what you do. That's what you train for. And playing the grand final, it's all about winning. I mean, you don't go out and play football because just for the game. You're there to win grand finals. And, Hawthorn has some great success, and a lot of players who haven't had success, all supporters. We've seen Richard what's happened the last year or so. Just great to see the boys out there. But would I do it again? Yeah, you'd do it again. At that time, I was hit and got a punch of the lung, ended up in hospital, and anyway, we're here to tell the story, aren't we? But it used to be fun as well because a lot of these guys, we become great friends because there was a nightclub scene back in the day too. The bands were playing and used to go in and get the drink cards. And
I was just about to say that, like being a young fella and sort of winning a game, you'd go to the Chevron or the Palace.
You go to the Chevron, you start the Chevron, you end up the Underground. Like it just went on. And
amazing. And the Brownlow, tell me about that.
Oh, the Brownlow was one of those situations where I was about 50-1 on the night. I wish I knew that. I would have backed myself. But it was, I had a really good year in 1986. I kept out of trouble. 86. I was a bit of a troublemaker every now and then. But it was just a great night. I was at that time, I was Hawthorn's first ever Brownlow medalist. And, here you are, a young kid. You play with Lee Matthews and Peter Knights, all these great names, Dunstall, Brereton, Ayres, you name it, Platten. And here I am winning the first Brownlow, and I'm very honoured. At the time, I was very shy about it. But I love going to the Brownlow now. I love seeing the other Brownlow medalists. And we've got some sort of little Brownlow club going. It's nice.
Yeah, you're class acts. For our younger viewers and older ones, how do you feel your days?
Oh, my days is very, very busy. I'm very fortunate enough to, I suppose, Dipper's a brand, and Dipper gets used in a lot of areas. I work for a lot of people, or ambassador for a lot of people. I'm still involved in the AFL in game development. Like I've been with Auskick and for 16 odd years trying to grow the game, and also with GWS, I've been working up there for the last 5 years trying to get them amongst the society. It was up in Western Sydney. It's hard to understand what football's all about, but they're starting to understand. It's been 5 years now. Some great support up there. And because everyone knows Dipper, I get out there and I can relate what football's all about, and they know who I am and where I come from. So, look, I love doing it because I just love meeting people and do what I do. And I'm very fortunate to do a lot of work in leadership and men's health, and so every day is different for me, which is nice.
No, you certainly are a role model to professional players and people who just love football. And but not everybody's career sparks off like yours after football. We've seen a lot of people hit rock bottom, and you obviously had a plan
I've been rock bottom too. It's not easy. It's sort of get out there, do what you got to do. Just believe in yourself, and that's what we're talking about. Because society's pretty hard at the moment. Everyone wants it now, not tomorrow. I want it now. A premiership. I want it now. And you've got to work so hard to get to a point. And when we talk to young kids and that, on the phones when they're looking, all that sort of stuff, or parents or whatever, try to say, how do I get my young children off the phone? Well, everybody's got instant messages right now, but you got to take time, understand who you are, and build to something that you want to do, you know.
That's
It's really
important. That's
interesting.
good advice
Yeah.
because we see a lot of people who've been in the spotlight, football players, actors, and then once all that finishes, there's a lot of time to think, and we see a lot in court, don't we?
Well, it doesn't happen overnight.
No.
And let me tell you, I've had more downs than ups. Don't worry about that. Even though I've won premierships, Brownlows, all the bits and pieces, you know, I've done a lot of work in corporate area. Yeah, every day you have more downs than ups. So, and those downs really understand who you are and how you make yourself up. You go in the corner and cry. Well, you might do every now and then, but and you can do it every now and then, but you've got to stand up and say, righto, you know, who am I and what can I do? And I really believe too that you can ask for help too, because I've asked a lot of help from other mentors, and you know, how do you do this, or you know, how do you approach a subject and that. So I'm always asking questions myself.
That's good, and you smile a lot. Smiling's important.
Well, smiling's easy because it's in my
easy.
personality. But look, I played footy. I'm a kid who had a very bad stutter. I come from a migrant family. I was very fortunate. I wasn't a good player, but I become part of a great team, and all the things that you learn along the way. And now I make a living out of speaking, and I love what I do.
Amazing.
Love it.
Thanks for coming on the platform,
Well,
Diva.
thanks for having me on
You're
board.
a legend. Thank you so much, and
Thank you.
viewers,
I'm a legend.
thank you.
Do you hear that? Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back very shortly with Warwick Kappa and Warwick's World.